millions of television viewers spent years laughing with the unforgettable characters of the Beverly Hillbillies. Week after week, audiences welcomed the Clampett family into their living rooms, watching their hilarious adventures in Beverly Hills. On screen, the chemistry between the cast felt effortless. The characters felt like family. But decades later, after turning 90, one of the show's most recognizable stars, Baer Jr., began reflecting on something far more personal, his memories of working alongside the legendary actress Irene Ryan. And according to Baer, the story behind their partnership was more complex, more emotional, and ultimately more meaningful than audiences ever realized. Long before Hollywood fame, Baer Jr. grew up far from television sets and studio lights. Born in California in 1937, he was the son of world heavyweight boxing champion Baer. His childhood was shaped by the unusual mix of sports fame and ordinary life. While his father's boxing career brought public attention, Baer himself was more interested in storytelling, music, and eventually acting. Breaking into Hollywood, however, was never easy. Like many young performers in the early 1960s, Baer faced auditions, rejection, and the challenge of proving that he belonged in an industry filled with experienced actors. At the same time, Irene Ryan had already spent decades in show business. With roots in vaudeville and radio, Ryan had built a reputation as a seasoned comedian long before television became America's favorite form of entertainment. Then came the moment that would change everything. In 1962, the Beverly Hillbillies premiered on CBS. The show followed a poor rural family who suddenly became wealthy and moved to Beverly Hills. The premise was simple, but the characters were unforgettable. Baer was cast as the charming but dim-witted Jethro, while Ryan played the fiery and hilarious Granny, the sharp-tongued matriarch of the Clampett family. The show quickly became one of the most popular sitcoms in television history. Within its first season, millions of viewers were tuning in every week, turning the cast into household names almost overnight. But behind the laughter, life on a hit television show was rarely as simple as it appeared. According to stories shared over the years, the cast worked under intense production schedules. Filming episodes week after week demanded long hours and constant energy. Those who worked on the set later remembered that Irene Ryan was deeply dedicated to her craft. Despite being older than many of her co-stars, she approached every scene with precision and discipline. For Baer, working with someone of Ryan's experience was both inspiring and intimidating. He has often described how Ryan carried herself with the professionalism of someone who had survived decades in entertainment. She understood timing, character, and the rhythm of comedy in ways younger actors were still learning. At times, that difference in experience created moments of tension. According to some recollections from people close to the production, Ryan was known for expecting her fellow actors to take their roles seriously. Comedy might appear effortless on screen, but behind the scenes it required perfect timing and constant rehearsal. Baer, still relatively new to television acting, was learning those lessons in real time. Yet those challenges also created respect. Over the years, Baer came to recognize the depth of Ryan's dedication to her craft. Her portrayal of Granny became one of the defining comedic performances of television's early sitcom era. Audiences adored her sharp wit, fierce independence, and the hilarious confidence she brought to the character. But off-camera, Ryan was also a performer who carried the weight of a long career. In the early 1970s, after the Beverly Hillbillies ended, Ryan continued pursuing her passion for performing. She eventually took on a role in the Broadway musical Pippin, proving that even after decades in entertainment, her love for the stage had never faded. Sadly, her life was cut short in 1973. For Baer, the years that followed offered time to reflect not only on the success of the show but on the people who helped create it. Looking back today, he often speaks about Irene Ryan with admiration rather than controversy. The woman audiences saw as the fiery Granny was, in reality, a deeply committed artist who demanded excellence from herself and those around her. And perhaps that was the truth Baer always wanted to share. Behind the comedy, behind the costumes, and behind the laughter was a performer who treated every scene as an opportunity to create something memorable. Decades later, the Beverly Hillbillies still lives on in television history. Its characters remain beloved, its humor timeless. But stories like this remind us that the magic audiences see on screen is often built on years of dedication, discipline, and collaboration behind the scenes. Sometimes the people who challenge us the most end up becoming the ones we respect the most. And in the long journey of Hollywood, those relationships often leave the deepest legacy. If you enjoyed this Hollywood story, share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more untold stories from the golden age of television.